Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing really well and thank you so much for tuning in today. So today I wanted to talk about some of my top picks from Charlotte Tilbury. I was kind of perusing my makeup collection and I found quite a lot of products that I was like, yeah, these are really, really good. I think she kind of has the whole like everyday glam, like totally nailed. I originally wanted to do like a top 5 and make it, quite short and snappy. But yeah, as I was going through, I was like, no, there's actually a lot more products that I wanted to talk about. So there's a lot more than 5 products here, but hopefully it'll be kind of quite a good roundup, I guess, of the brand. There's not a full face, but I mean, there might as well be at this point. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go through and talk about some of the products that I think are really, really worth it. It is obviously a little bit more of a luxury brand, which is reflected in the price point. So yeah, I find these videos really helpful personally. So I hope that you do as well. And if you have any other favourites that I haven't mentioned today, then please do let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe if you like my videos and you want to see more. And yeah, let's just get into it. So the first product for me is the Flawless Filter. And I'm going to kind of go in order of application. I feel like that makes the most sense. So yeah, the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This was a really interesting product when it launched, and at least in my collection anyway, and kind of what I had seen from other brands, there wasn't really anything like this on the market. It's not really a primer, it's not a foundation, it's not really a highlighter. It's kind of all of those things. It's really, really versatile, and you can definitely use it in so many different ways. The shade I have here is number 3. This is a really good kind of match for me in the spring and summer. If I want to give my skin a little bit more of a kind of bronzy glow, then this is one that I reach for time and time again. I personally love to use it underneath my foundation. You can also mix it in with your foundation, apply it on top, apply it as like a highlight on the kind of tops of the cheekbones. But my personal favourite way is just underneath foundation, kind of as a primer, but not to, prolong the wear of my makeup, but just to give me a nice glow. So it has a kind of big like doe foot applicator, which is a bit strange, but I guess it kind of means you can apply it quite precisely if you are going to use it on top of your makeup as a highlighter, and it also means you can just like scribble it all over your face, which is what I tend to do if I'm just using it underneath as kind of like a base product. I've seen people use this as a foundation. I personally do not think, at least for my kind of preferences and what I look for in a foundation, even a really sheer light coverage foundation, this is just a little bit too dewy for me. Another way that I actually really enjoy using this, and I think this is something, I think it was maybe Sally Hughes years ago, I had a kind of talking about this particular application method, and it just works so well. And that is kind of using it on top of your foundation, almost as like a touch-up product. If you are someone kind of halfway through the day or at the end of the day, if you then are going out or something like that, as things start to open up a little bit, then actually using this instead of like a kind of dewy setting spray or maybe an illuminating powder, something that's going to give your skin just a little bit more life, make it look like you've freshly applied your makeup. This is also a really, really good product to use in that kind of step. It just like smooths out the skin, it gives you a really nice fresh luminous glow, but without looking like you've just applied a really intense liquid highlighter to the face. It just really refreshes the skin, and halfway through the day, if your skin is looking a bit dull or a bit drab, this is a really, really excellent product to kind of put throughout the T-zone, onto the kind of tops of the cheekbones, and it just looks flawless. I really, really, really like this. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder next. I really, really bought into the hype with this one. I had so many people talking about it, how it was amazing for, dry skin, how it just looks like undetectable and really smooth and flawless. And I have to say, it absolutely does look like that. I purchased this last year, I think, and I haven't really made much of a dent in it. I use it quite a lot. There's definitely a dent in there, but in the grand scheme of things, I use this pretty much all the time. There's only a couple of powders I tend to rotate between, and at the moment, this is my favorite pressed powder option. So I have the shade 1, and I tend to use this, I'm gonna grab my brush here, on a Spectrum, what is this, a Spectrum BO8 brush. So I find this is just quite a small and precise brush. You can just apply it under the eyes to kind of set your concealer, or you can kind of dust it through the T-zone. So this is just a really, really good brush that I like to use for that. I find it really hard to go overboard with this product. It just works so, so, so well. If you do have drier skin and maybe applying a powder, you think it just automatically makes your foundation look cakey, or it enhances texture, then I think this is a really, really good option. It doesn't take away too much glow, and yeah, I just really, really, really like this. It's a really fab setting powder. Okay, so the next product is, it looks really gross. This is my Filmstyle Bronze and Glow. I mean, yeah, I think this had to be in here, didn't it? Because I think, you know, if this isn't a favourite, then I don't know what is. Mine is extremely, extremely used. I think this was maybe the first Charlotte Tilbury product I picked up, and I'm just absolutely obsessed with it. The bronzer is kind of a really nice cool toned, almost kind of leans on the side of a contour, but I definitely still use it as a bronzer type product. I don't use it too much to kind of sculpt out the cheekbones, but you definitely can, because it isn't too warm. The highlighter is a beautiful kind of golden champagne. I've never ever come across a highlighter that looks so flawless on the skin. I remember the first time I applied it, and it didn't look chunky, it didn't look glittery. It just really makes it look like you have just beautifully radiant skin naturally. And for a powder highlight, I just wasn't expecting it to look so one with the skin. From a cream highlight, yeah, sure, because it kind of melts in a little bit better, but yeah, this highlight formula is just absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed. And I use it with the MAC, oh, the writing is completely rubbed off. I think it's the 118 brush, 188 brush, not sure. But it's just kind of like a duo fiber stipple brush. And I really, really enjoy these actually if you want a kind of lighter powder application. So for powder highlights, this is the kind of brush I tend to reach for, because it doesn't pick up too much of the product, and it just kind of really diffuses the highlight across the cheekbones. This is a really, really big win. This is quite expensive, and I haven't tried the airbrush bronzer or the new kind of highlight they've come out with, which they're not in a palette, it's just a single product. I haven't tried those. I'm kind of going to make my way through this first before I pick those up. But yeah, in terms of like a really smooth powder application, these are absolutely beautiful. Sticking with the cheek products, their blushes as well are just really, really beautiful. So these are the Cheek to Chic blushes. I have the shade First Love. I think this is probably my favourite from the range. It's a really pretty nude pink. So you have a kind of lighter colour on the outside here, kind of looks like a nipple. And then you have a more kind of pop of pink. So the whole kind of premise, I guess, of this particular blush is that you can use the outside colour if you just want a lighter flush across the cheeks. You can then pop with the colour in the middle on the kind of apples of the cheek, and that just kind of creates a little bit more dimension. Or you can just kind of blend the two together, use them separately. So for a blush that's just one shade, you do get quite a lot of options with it, which I really, really like. It's not a super shimmery formula. This particular shade is quite satin. I'm not sure if the formulas differ too much blush to blush in terms of the finish of them. There might be some that are more matte, there might be some that are more shimmery. I'm not sure, but this one, I would say it leans more on the matte side, but it does just give the cheeks a really kind of natural flush glow. I am a huge fan of her eye products. I think the Eyes to Mesmerise, the like cream shadow pots, and also the Colour Chameleons, which I'm going to talk about today, are just really, really excellent one and done eyeshadow formulas. The Colour Chameleons in particular are just the easiest thing to like draw all over the lid, blend it out. You can use a couple of different shades to create more of a kind of intense eye look. Today I've just used, is this Amber Haze? Yes, Amber Haze all over the lid and just blended it out. This is a beautiful kind of bronzy, I guess, yeah, just a bronze, just a bronze colour. I love this. I think it makes my particular eye colour really, really pop. If you have green eyes, brown eyes, even probably blue eyes, I think this kind of really nice rich bronze is such a flattering shade, and it's a really, really good one if you are in a rush and you just want a little bit of definition, but you don't want to reach into a palette or something like that. You can use these with your fingers to blend them out. I use a brush. I just use like a Real Techniques duo fiber kind of blending brush. So this is the base shadow brush from Real Techniques, and I use this with practically all of my cream eyeshadows because it's just the perfect density. It doesn't pick up too much of the product, but it just blends it really, really nicely. Yeah, so these I would say are such a hit from the brand. I love like shadow sticks, so instantly I knew that this was probably going to be something that I liked, and yeah, it really, really didn't disappoint. So along with that, I am also a really big fan of the kohl liners. This is the brown shade. This is Barbarella Brown, and I love this kind of smoked out on the lash line. It also stays really well in the waterline if you prefer to tight line and things like that. This does last really well. The thing I love about these is that you get a kind of good amount of playtime with them. So if you do apply it on the upper lash line, again, which I've done today and you should be able to see in the cutaways, they are creamy enough so that you can really blend them and kind of get that shape that you want, but then they set down and they do not budge for the whole day. I normally use like an oil balm kind of cleanser, which I find removes this absolutely perfectly. But yeah, they are really, really long lasting. This is a really beautiful kind of rich brown shade. Sometimes I prefer a brown over black. I think especially if you're reaching for a pencil, which is going to be a little bit softer anyway. Sometimes I find with blacks, if you kind of blend them out, they kind of fade to more of a grey tone. Whereas I just really, really like the intensity of this particular brown. So yeah, the eyeliners, again, big hit for me. So a category that I have a lot of in terms of Charlotte Tilbury would be their lip products. So I have a few of the liners, I have quite a lot of lipsticks as well, but I've just picked out two to chat about today. So the lip liners, I'm going to talk about the nude ones because these are the ones that I reach for most often. So I have Pillow Talk, of course, which is such a classic. Yeah, the lip liner I think is what started the whole Pillow Talk collection. It was a bestseller for years, and then they obviously introduced a lipstick, and now they have like a blush, eyeshadow palette, I don't know, everything in this kind of really nice like dusty pink shade. I also have Super Size Me, which I think I prefer a little bit more. It's a little bit more on the mauve side, whereas Pillow Talk is a bit more of that pinky nude, but both are really beautiful. I mean, I've got them swatched on my hand, and to be honest, they look basically the same, but Super Size Me is just a touch deeper, and I quite like that because I do like to apply my lip liners all over the lips first and then go over the top with a lipstick. I just feel like it gives a really nice dimension, and it makes my lipsticks last a little bit longer as well. And really, really creamy formulas, but they do set down, and like I said, I use them all over the lips and I don't find them to be too drying. I do always go over with a lipstick or a gloss or something. I wouldn't just kind of let them sit on their own, because I think even the creamiest of lip liners, they do have a bit of dry down, so they might enhance your lip texture a little bit, especially if you have dry lips, which I always do. So yeah, these are just really beautiful. I feel like everybody knows the Pillow Talk lip liner, so it's no surprise that they are in here today. So for lipsticks, I have probably my all-time favourite lipstick ever in the world, which is Stoned Rose. I don't really hear anyone talk about this colour. Obviously a lot of people talk about Pillow Talk. What's the other ones that are really popular? Like the KKW nude, I think, is another popular nude. I don't know, probably missing loads, aren't I? But Stoned Rose isn't a shade I hear many people talk about, and it's not really like a typical nude shade. Maybe that's why. I'm like putting it in the nude category, then I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, warm coral brown. Yeah, so this is definitely a warmer lip colour, and for autumn and winter, I just absolutely love it. I'm wearing it today. It looks a bit pinky because I've got the Super Size Me lip liner underneath, but with like a true kind of nude lip liner, or a lip liner that maybe is a little bit more brown, I do think this is the most stunning shade. It's a really beautiful like warm coral. I'm not sure what range of lipsticks this particular colour is from, but it's not matte. It does have a little bit of a kind of satin finish. It's not like a glitter or shimmery at all. It's just a really, really nice velvety formula. And then for the spring and summer, I always reach for Miranda May. So this is a collaboration with Miranda Kerr. I really love Miranda Kerr. She could have literally come out with like a purple colour, and I'd have been like, yeah, I'm buying that, because I just love Miranda Kerr. I think she's beautiful and amazing, and yeah, that's why I bought this colour. But I do actually really like the colour, so it worked out well. This is just a really beautiful pinky coral. I reach for this all the time in the spring and summer because it's just like, it just screams spring and summer to me. It's really, really, really beautiful. This is a little bit more matte than Stoned Rose, but I mean, I find the matte formulations are really comfortable to wear as well. They last really, really well, easy to apply, and yeah, I mean, her lipsticks, there's so many shades. They're just beautiful. I really want them all. I love the ones that she has like collaborated with celebrities on. I just think it's really fun, and if you really like a celebrity, then you know, I think that's quite a fun kind of lipstick to purchase, like I do with Miranda Kerr. There we go. So yeah, that's Miranda May. So I hope that you enjoyed that kind of quick, hopefully, not sure how quick it will be. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that kind of Charlotte Tilbury roundup. I think that she really kind of has that everyday glam look nailed, and I know a lot of that is obviously in the marketing that she does, and the kind of looks that she creates with her products, and you can obviously do whatever you want with the products. For, you know, an everyday consumer, I think that the brand just really has it nailed. I think, yes, they're expensive, but I think the formulas are just really good, and I love the colour story of her products. I think it's really great that you can just go in to one of the stores, find a look that you like, and you know, it has the lipstick, the eyeshadow, the blush, and you don't really have to think about it. You know, you can just buy a little collection of products and the look is already there. You can go onto her YouTube channel and there's so many tutorials on how to use the products, and yeah, I think that overall the brand is really lovely. Luxury but lovely. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed. If you made it to the end, do make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!